Good evening, everybody. It is March 2nd, 2022. And tonight on the stream, I want to take a walk up to Radio City Music Hall, as well as Rockefeller Center. So we will be doing that today. We are in the East Village near New York University, as well as St. Mark's Place. We haven't been to Radio City in a while on the stream, so we will head up that way. A couple topics for tonight. I read an interesting article in Barron's. I read an interesting article in Barron's that my friend actually sent to me, and it was about emerging markets. And if you type !markets, M-A-R-K-E-T-S, in the chat, it's going to drop the link to the Barron's article. But I thought it was pretty interesting because, oftentimes on the stream we talk about emerging markets, and really one of the things that I guess I should say I don't really understand, or what's so perplexing to me, is that a lot of emerging markets, or a lot of companies in emerging markets, more specifically in China, these companies' multiples tend to trade at a little bit of a discount to their US counterparts. So a lot of American companies tend to trade at a premium. And I guess the only reason why I could, figure out why that is potentially because of geopolitical risk. So if you think about a country like China, the CCP, very, very strict rules and regulations. So those tech companies tend to trade at a little bit of a discount, or a lot of a discount, comparison to US companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and things like that. But I think this was a really well-written article, and it goes into how the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates, and that could benefit emerging markets, putting some pressure on the dollar. And I believe there was a statistic in the article that says 90% of the time when the US dollar gets weaker, emerging market companies outperform. So please check out that article. I thought it was amazing. And we will start the stream. So let's see who we have in the chat. Hey, we got Bianca M in the chat. What's up, Bianca? We have Jane M. Good to see you. Atomic Skittles 678 says, hey, Tom. Michelle Henry is here. Says, good evening, Tom. How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good tonight. Texas 05 says, hola, amigo. What's up, 05? Good to see you from Corpus Christi. Hope you're well. It's actually a nice night out. It's not too bad. Solo 401 says, hello there. Good to see you, Solo. Carol says, hello, Tom. Good to see you. Hemp Lord says, good evening, Otto. Allie is here. Says, hey, Tom and everybody. What's up, Allie? We are close to the Bowery. Well, not too close, but we could walk there. Razzle Dazzle 786 says, hey, Tom. Good to see you. Paranormal Witness Girl. Welcome, everybody. So the good news we have tonight on the stream, it's actually not too cold. It's actually pretty nice out. So we're going to head uptown. We spent a lot of time in the East Village the past couple streams, so I think I want to head directly uptown and spend some time at Radio City. I see Nicole James says, hey, Tom. Good to see you, Nicole. DJ says, what's up? What's up, DJ? Joey is here, says, hi, Tom. RJ says, Tom, how about that market comeback? Yeah, so RJ, I was watching that today, and things are looking pretty good. We closed positive on the S&P, really, really strong rally, and the Dow. And markets turned around right after we heard from the Federal Reserve. So Fed Chair Jerome Powell, it's a done deal that they're going to raise interest rates at their next policy meeting. And I think that markets rallied off the back of that because the Federal Reserve has pretty much lost a lot of their credibility, I think. So now that they have come out that, yes, we're going to raise interest rates, we're going to start taking inflation more seriously, I think the market liked that, and they responded well. But what do you guys think? What did you think about Fed Chair Jerome Powell's statements today? Hey, Paranormal Witness Girl's here. Good to see you. Humane says, good evening, Tom and all. What's going on, everybody? Man, it was a crazy day, crazy busy day at work. Crazy, crazy busy. Atomic Skittles, good to see you. Hey, Rodrigo says, I guess it's about time the block exchanges or something like that. Nobody wants a currency more stronger than yours, says Rodrigo. Warwalker, what's up, man? Good to see you, Warwalker from the 305. We have Joey in the house, RJ. Dante Rose says, Tom, the Russian billionaire is losing lots of money. So I saw something that I believe the German government seized like a big mega yacht from one of these Russian billionaires. Did anybody see that? Or was that just me? Skip says, hey Tom, looking good tonight. Good to see you, Skip. Did anybody see that piece of news that came out today? That the German government was actually able to seize one of the Russian oligarchs' really, really expensive yachts. Yeah, Gigi NYC says, yeah, I saw that. So supposedly Gigi, hold on one second. Supposedly that's going to start happening here in the United States too. So somebody had sent me an article today. Hold on, I'm getting hammered with calls. Yeah, so somebody sent me an article today that says the Fed, or the Feds, could actually, well, potentially start to raid assets here in New York. And I think the New York Post actually came out with a really interesting piece where they actually disclosed a lot of the addresses of a lot of these Russian oligarchs here. Many of them happen to be at Central Park South, as well as the East Side. Did anybody else see that article? I think it was a New York Post article that came out last night. Hey, Alan Wilson's here. Says, good evening, Tom and everybody. What's up, Alan? The ABX girl says, Tom, there's a team doing flight tracker of the Russian private jets flying around. ABX girl, I did see that. So I think that was the same team that was tracking Elon Musk that time, remember? It's crazy what's going on. Minraj says, yeah, Tom, I saw that article too. KR says, surely the Russians have already been tipped off, so their assets are being reorganized and moved. Well, I mean, it's pretty hard to move an apartment in New York City, but KR, supposedly like a lot of the big mega yachts are being seized. I saw something briefly today about, I think it was over $1 billion worth of yachts that were seized from Russian oligarchs by the German government. Lady O is here, says, hey Tom, good evening. What's up, Lady O? Good to see you. We have Mohammed here. Hey, good evening, Mohammed. I hope you are well. Hope everybody had a good day today. For those of you who were working today, I hope you had a good day at work. It was just wild today. Today was one of those wild days. Hey, Loki says, I saw a revival of pro-Keystone Pipeline rhetoric. Interesting. Interesting. Good to see a revival. Hey, Ken Kramer, what's up? Says the Fed will continue to inflate the hyper bubble. The interest rate hike is nothing. Yeah, so Ken, I think I probably agree with you. I think you make some really good points. But the market seemed to really like the rhetoric today by Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, where he said, yeah, we're going to start taking inflation more seriously. It's almost guaranteed we're going to raise the interest rate. But, to Ken's point, even if they raise it 500 basis points, 500 basis points is nothing. But at least I think the market is sort of saying, okay, we have some sort of credibility left in the Fed. And markets rallied. Markets rallied today. Hey, Chris Beeman is here. What's up, Chris? Chris is joining us from Arizona. Did you have to work today, Chris? Were you off? Hemp Lord says, why are they seizing property? Well, I think, governments around the world know that a lot of these Russian oligarchs, they've gotten their money maybe in, and I don't want to make any claims, but maybe in unethical ways through corruption. So this is a way to sort of put pressure on Russia. Ray Legend says, hey Tom, I hope everybody is doing well. What's up, Ray? Hey, Brian is here, says, hey Tom, and everybody in the chat. What's up, Brian? JD Jennifer says, please, more info on this Central Park South. Well, I don't have the link to the exact article, but it was either a New York Daily News article or a New York Post article where they said, essentially one of the reporters was able to obtain a lot of the addresses of all of the Russian oligarchs, I guess that's how you'd say it. So the very, very wealthy, top elite Russians that are well connected with Putin. they were able to get a list of all of their addresses. And a lot of them are on Central Park South, so 59th Street, Columbus Circle, stretching all the way over to the Plaza Hotel, and even many on the Upper East Side of Manhattan too. So we'll see what happens. It could get crazy. Hey, Brian says, what's up? What's up, Brian? Son Jib says, hey, Tom, how are you? I'm doing really good. John says, the weather is really nice today. It is nice today. Nicole James says, Apple has stopped selling their goods in Russia. I saw that too. That's wild. I saw that as well. Hey, Sunshine New York is here. What's going on? Ray Legend, good to see you. Daryl says, good evening, Tom, from Chicago, Illinois. What's up, Daryl? Hope everything is going well in Chicago. Yeah, so Robert makes a good point. Says, I highly doubt those oligarchs actually live in those, what do they call them? Live in those condos. Well, I think what happens is, they're called quote unquote piggy banks in the sky, right? So it's a way for, I guess you could, and I don't want to make these alleged claims, but I think everybody gets the point, right? It's a way for big time billionaires to either launder money or put money in a safe haven, get it out of their home countries. And there was actually a really, really good article in the New York Times about 4 months ago, and we actually did a stream about it, where they said the vast majority of all of the big apartment buildings here on Billionaires Row, all of these buildings are vacant. And it's not because the apartments aren't selling. It's just because these people buy the apartments and they never come to them. So it's sort of a way to have trophy apartments and what you call a piggy bank in the sky, just a way to store your assets. Hey, Daryl says, Tom, it was 55 degrees in Chicago today. That's a beautiful day. It wasn't too bad here, honestly. Wasn't too bad in New York today. Wow, Nicole says Shell and BP have severed ties with Russia. Yeah, Michael Wells says, Tom, I'm loving the spring to come. Agreed. Chris Beeman says, Tom, yes, I work today, but I have the weekends off. Awesome. Wade Braxton says, be safe in New York City. Thank you, Wade. Brian says, Tom, I read a Business Insider article that civilian will not be taxed for any Russian military vehicle or equipment found or captured. Huh. Interesting. Alan Wilson says, Tom, are they actually taking the assets away from Russia or just freezing them? So I'm not sure about that, but that's actually a good point. I don't know. But the German government did manage to seize one of their big mega yachts. So I don't know if they're going to return it should the war end, or I don't know how that's going to work. But I think the reason why they're putting so much pressure on this is because a lot of these, big, powerful billionaires in Russia, they're very well connected, allegedly, with Putin, or Vladimir Putin. So if they see their net worths going in half or cut in half overnight, well, they're probably going to put pressure on Putin to say, dude, you got to stop the war. We're losing all our money. Which I do understand that. I understand that. I mean, as a rational person, that would make sense. But I don't think we're dealing with a person of rationale right now. So we'll see if it works. Supposedly, a lot of these Russian oligarchs are already starting to speak out against Vladimir Putin, because the Russian stock market was cut in half overnight. The Russian ruble is literally almost worth less right now. So we'll see if the pressure works. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the pressure will work? Hey, Roy S. is here. What's up, Roy? He says, hey, Tom and all mods. Wishing everybody well. Mount Up 716, as I heard, is a seize, not a freeze. What's up, Mount Up? Joining us from Buffalo, New York. Beautiful up there. Jay says, good evening, Tom. I hope you're doing well. I had a good day today. Very busy, though, unfortunately. KR says, do you think Putin can self-sustain itself food and energy-wise? Probably not. Probably not, I don't think. Because if you think about the overall GDP of Russia, it's literally, I mean, if they don't have the energy sector, if they don't have oil, they have quite literally nothing. But, you know, wheat futures, I think 2 days ago, actually went limit up for the first time, I think, in history. So Russia is a big exporter of wheat. Also, I believe the vast majority of neon, which is used in the production of semiconductors, I think almost all of it comes out of Ukraine and Russia. But, you know, we did get some guidance from AMD, Intel, and a lot of the other semiconductor companies saying that they were able to manage the supply chain in a way where they don't think this will be a big issue. Because over the weekend, you know, we did a stream about AMD and Intel coming out and saying that they're not going to supply any chips to Russia, which was huge, huge news. Oh, look at this thing. That thing is sick. Hey, Santo's here. Good to see you, Santo. Hope you're well. Jeannie Bell says, hey, Tom and lovely people. What's up? Thank you for joining tonight, everybody. Alan Wilson says, Tom, I wouldn't think they would take them away without some due process unless the government proved they were obtained with illegal money. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think the point is they're just trying to put pressure on Russia any way they can because they know that a lot of these Russian oligarchs are very well connected with the Kremlin. GGMYZ says skating with style. Yeah, Jay says the Russian mafia is not happy, maybe thinking of taking him out. You know, I've heard rumors of that, Jay. I'm not sure if I believe him, but there has been, you know, rumors circulating that, you know, a lot of people who are losing a ton of money in Russia that are big billionaires, and even, you know, there's speculation that Vladimir Putin could even be a trillionaire. There's speculation of that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, Pink Hair says, hola, Tom. Good to see you. Marty Lewis is here, says, hey, Tom and everybody. Hey, Marty. Hope you had a good day today. I see KR says, that guy is living in the future. I know. Those one-wheel boards, I guess. KO says, hello, Tom and everybody. Patty Benty says, hi, Tom. You know there is Action Kid in Miami. I do. I hope he has a fantastic time there. I think he's going to enjoy it. Durman says, Tom, what's up? What is the best pizza place in New York? I think that's a good question. I think if you want to talk about all of New York, including, you know, the boroughs and everything, I would say if you go to DeFara Pizza, which is in Brooklyn, that place is probably the best. But if you just want someplace local in Manhattan, there's a good spot on the Upper West Side called Made in New York Pizza, as well as Prince Street Pizza, which is actually further down here. Durman says, Tom, are you in Union Square? We are. We are in Union Square. Chris Beeman says, pretty scenery tonight. What's up, Chris? JD Jennifer says, the one wheel. Yeah, I mean, I could ride the skateboard. I don't know if I could do the one wheel. Maybe we'll try one day. Hey, Michael Welch says, hey, Tom. What's up, Michael? We're actually passing your workplace right now. So everybody, really quick, I just wanted to mention, you know, because we spent a lot of time talking about cybersecurity, and I thought that was probably one of my favorite streams because a lot of people in the chat had some amazing insights in terms of selling cybersecurity solutions and things like that. So I just wanted to point out today after the bell, a cybersecurity company that specializes in identity and access management, or IAM, reported earnings. That company is that company is Okta. Still was negative on EPS, but a little bit less negative on the EPS as thought. They crushed the revenue and they guided higher for the next quarter. So watch Okta. I think it's down about 5% after hours, but I'm very interested in the cybersecurity space. In my everyday life, I sell a lot of cybersecurity software, so I'm very interested in this space, but I believe cybersecurity, in terms of an investing thesis, will have extreme tailwinds, especially with everything that's going on now, with Russia threatening cybersecurity attacks against the West, the United States threatening cyber attacks against Russia. So I think cybersecurity in general, if you could really study and understand the space, not only from an investing standpoint, but if you're looking for a career. Maybe you want to be a software engineer at a cybersecurity company. Maybe you want to sell these products, right? I think this would be a pretty good space to look at. So I just wanted to mention that Okta, ticker symbol OKTA, did report after the bell today. Hey, Dutchman is here. Says, good evening, Tom. Action Kid needs your suggestion help with Miami. So so here's the thing, Miami in downtown, in terms of the stream quality, Verizon works the best, but every time you go down to Miami, you must reset your network settings on your phone because in New York, a lot of the LT is distributed over a different band, a different radio band, than it is in Miami. So you have to reset your network settings. Hey, Chaudry's here, says, hello, Tom, long time. How are you? I'm doing good. Thank you for joining tonight. We are here, Union Square Park on East 17th Street. Murphy D says, who wants to watch someone walk around Miami? Me, I do. Good to see you, Murphy D. Sally says, am here. Tom, how are you? What's up, Sally? Hope you're well. Michael Weld says, Tom, are you able to make it by this Friday? Maybe. Let's call that tentative. Send me a message on the Discord and maybe I will stop by on Friday. Lady O says, we all do. Miami is cool. Yeah, Miami is great. I think Action Kid is going to have a great time there. I think he is moving there permanently. And it's a great place. It's a great up and coming place, good startup environment, good tech environment. So I think he's going to enjoy it, and I wish him the best. Shot by Scott says, yeah, Tom, you said it, brother. What's up, Scott? Hope you're well, my friend. Ooh, the sound of the skateboard, man. I love that. Dang. Memories, guys. Hey, Barca says, hey, man. Hello from Denmark. First time in Miami, or first time in New York. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, everybody from Denmark. Brian says, Tom, I can share the article I mentioned. Yeah, for sure. If anybody has any thing of value to add, feel free to drop the link in the chat or just put it in our Discord server, which is in the link in the description. Chaudry says, Tom, are you back in New York City permanently? Not permanently. I'm going to be spending about 50% of my time here in New York. Yeah, Alan Wilson's like, that could be you. I know. I got to get it back. You know, we probably could have streamed from the skateboard tonight. Not going to lie. We probably could have streamed from the skateboard tonight. But here's the thing. We're at this part of the year where you wake up and it's freezing. And then during lunch break, it's like, oh my God, why did I wear my winter jacket outside? Because it's so hot. And then it's freezing again. So... Hey, Rodrigo says, I am from Argentina living in Ottawa, and we still have snow. I want to move to New York. Very cool. So you know what? We've been getting a lot of people from Argentina moving to Miami, actually. So a lot of people from Argentina love Southern Florida, Miami. So welcome, everybody. Ruby's like, skateboard. Did I hear skateboard? Ruby, very soon, I promise. I can't wait to get back on the board either. Hopefully I still know how to ride it. Patty Benty says, hey, Tom, when are you going to Miami? I am not sure yet. Not sure yet. Hey, Community Canners is here. Says, good evening, all. Welcome. Lemonade says, memories. You're only 26. You could still hop on the skateboard. We will in a couple months. Well, I shouldn't say a couple months. Maybe in a couple weeks. Hey, Christina says, Tom, your webcams are so relaxing. You have a nice slow pace. You set a great sense of serenity in your presence, or in your presence. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks everybody for joining. Yeah, it's going to be a more relaxed stream. You know, only a couple topics we're going to cover tonight. I just briefly wanted to throw that out there that, you know, Okta, cybersecurity company, reported after the bell. They did beat on EPS, but EPS is still negative. But I just want to get everybody in the notion to really pay attention to secular trends, like big growing trends. Well, there's so many people out on the skateboard tonight. I'm gonna have to check the weather for tomorrow. But anyway, that's what you want to look for. You want to look for, okay, what is a massive trend that is going to be growing, or you call it an expanding total addressable market. And for me, I think the two main biggest trends, I think, of the next 10 years is going to be number one, cybersecurity, easy. And number two, I think it's going to be home healthcare. So I think if a lot of people want to open up home healthcare agencies, you know, as of right now, the fastest growing job in America is a home health aide. Did anybody know that? I was surprised when I heard that. And as you guys know, in my career in enterprise tech sales, that was my vertical that I sold into for many years. I would sell into the big home healthcare agencies, hospitals, and nursing homes. And as we see this shift to, you know, the baby boomers retiring, you're going to need home care. And I think home care is a lot better option than having somebody be in a nursing home, because, you know, for the vast majority of people, they would rather, you know, retire, get old in their personal home, have a caregiver come. But I think the biggest thing that's preventing that is the lack of remote patient monitoring applications, but it is getting better. So I've actually been working with a tech company and running some data analytics as to why exactly our patients get constantly going back to the hospital or having remittance back to the hospital. And 9 times out of 10, it's actually for things that are very preventable. So for example, let's say if you're a diabetic, you forget to check your blood sugar, you don't have the appropriate insulin, or you forget to take insulin. Maybe you have high blood pressure, you forget to take your high blood pressure medicine. So I think as we roll out new remote patient monitoring tools, this will give doctors and primary care physicians firsthand access to patient information from anywhere. So let's say, God forbid, you forget to take your medication and your levels go a little bit out of whack. Your doctor can remotely send you a reminder or things like that. So I think those are going to be the two biggest trends: cybersecurity, home healthcare, and the like. But check out this view of the Empire. Amazing here. Hey, James Davidson is here. Says, hey, Tom. What's up, James? Hope you're well. Christina. What's up, Christina? Hey, Sunshine, New York. Good to see you. Carol says, I was a home health aide for almost 25 years. Very rewarding career. Absolutely. Yeah, Carol, I think I have the most respect for people in healthcare, especially home health aides. They work so tirelessly hard. Amazing respect I have for them. Yeah, Lady O says, Empire shining bright and proud. Love the Empire tonight. Hey, Crazy Otto says, that's weird. I thought we were in Miami for a second. Yeah, Warwalker says, insulin is extremely expensive in the United States. That is true. Kathy Lyons is very nice. Good to see you, Kathy. Ruby Falcone says, beautiful. Good to see you, Ruby. Dutchman says, Tom, did you ever have a chance to read the CNN article I posted about investigating the BitConnect? So yeah, I didn't get a chance to read that, but essentially I remember that. So in 2017, and you know, these are going on now too, just to let everybody know. And that's why a lot of times when people come on the channel and ask me about a lot of the alternative cryptocurrencies, I think the vast majority of those are those Ponzi-like schemes where, you know, in order for the coin or whatever they're called to go up, you need more and more people buying them. So I think a lot of the cryptocurrencies are structured like those Ponzi schemes. And I think the biggest Ponzi scheme now in cryptocurrency are a lot of these so-called nodes that'll say, look, if you invest into this virtual node, you'll get a guaranteed 7% return per day. And I think a lot of those, well, let me rephrase that. I think a lot of them, I think all of them are Ponzi schemes. I think a lot of people are going to either lose all their money, and the people who are promoting those things are probably going to go to jail for a long time. So Dutchman, I think you're right. I have not read that article, but if you want to send it to me in the Discord, I will read it. But BitConnect was a big Ponzi scheme.
Huh?
Rodrigo says, yes, huge Ponzi scam. Alton says, hey, Tom, how's it going? It's going good, man. It's going good. I'm happy to be streaming tonight. It was a crazy day at work, but things are getting better at work. Hopefully we'll be closing some big deals. Anna Ames says, I've heard they're trying to charge Putin on war crimes. I heard that as well. Cosmo, no, crazy. Hey, Dana Thompson, interesting perspective. Let's check out what Dana Thompson says. Dana Thompson says, Tom, as a nursing manager on the West Coast, the big trend right now is telehealth. The doctors are preferring that over in-house appointments. Home health would help with that, as they would have to have a nurse present. Yeah, I think you're totally right. So I've actually been selling a lot of that stuff too. You know, if you can do a doctor's visit remotely, to your point, telehealth, I think that's going to cut down on a lot of the COVID transmission as well. Because let's say if you are, an older individual, you're immunocompromised, why would you want to go into the physical doctor's office? I actually think that poses a bigger risk of contracting, a cold or pneumonia or even the flu or COVID when, if you could just do the doctor's appointment, to Dana's point, virtually, it cuts down on the transmission. You don't have to wait in a big line at the doctor's office. So I'm very bullish on telehealth. Dang, the Empire State Building looks beautiful tonight. James Davidson says, Tom, when will you be doing live streams again in Miami? I can't say the exact dates anymore about where I'm going to be for reasons. GGMYC says, that's what we're doing with my mother's appointment, all virtually. Yeah, I think to your point, telehealth, remote patient monitoring, I think is going to be the really big future of healthcare. And I think it's actually going to save governments a lot of money. So one of the companies that I'm consulting with, what they're trying to do is they're trying to build a software that will track and will be able to verify and prove that the remote patient monitoring systems they're putting in place are reducing the remittance rates of patients back to the hospital. And what they want to do is they want to go to the government and say, look, 40% of our patients that used to go back to the hospital consistently, now they're not going back to the hospital. So give us a credit of like $50 or $60 a month to spend on remote patient monitoring. Because if you think about it, would the government rather pay for a $40,000 hospital bill or $60 a month for remote patient monitoring solution? So I think it could save the taxpayers a lot of money too. And most importantly, I know it's not all about the money. You want the patients to feel comfortable. Nobody's comfortable in the hospital. Elderly people and elderly folks, sick people, they're more comfortable in their own homes. I think they would rather be in their own homes. Sunshine, good to see you. Hey, Patty Benty says, Tom, have you ever been to Vegas? Yes, absolutely, I have. I'm not a huge fan of Vegas, but I just don't think I could live in the desert. Hey, Carol. Good to see you, Carol. Shot by Scott. Good to see you. Patty Benty. Andreas A. Good to see you. Jay says, I like telehealth. Carol says, have you heard that Action Kid is leaving New York? That's huge. Miami and Tampa. Huge gain. Yes, I have. And I wish him the best. I think he's going to love it there. It's beautiful weather, a good startup culture, a lot of nice people. So I think it's going to be great. Hey, Lowway Oak says Empire State Building is signature white tonight. DJ MTG Mike says the 19-year-old kid who was tracking Elon Musk is now tracking the Russians. I know. Isn't that crazy? That's wild. Yeah, so supposedly he's tracking the private jets? 48 says, I'm not keen on being in the hospital either. What's up, 48? 48 is joining us from New Zealand. Welcome, 48. Lowway Oaks is the MetLife clock tower. Yeah, this thing is beautiful. Shot by Scott says, I'm liking Miami, Tom. I'm liking it too. Carol Reeve says, Tom, urgent care facilities are on the rise. I live in New Jersey. I live in the Jersey Shore, and every other block is an urgent care. You know what? So that's so interesting you say that, because in Miami, there's like an urgent care popping up everywhere now. So you're right about that. So this is the, what do you call it? The Flatiron building, but the only downside about this is it's all covered in scaffolding, so we can't really see it that well. Christopher says, Tom, have you ever gone to Mardi Gras? I have not. I have not gone. Dolly Girl Twins says, oh, so you don't live in Miami anymore? I do live in Miami, but I will be splitting my time 50-50 between New York City and Miami. Because a lot of my clients are in New York. So sometimes I do have to come and take care of the clients, do meetings, do implementations, things like that. So oftentimes I'll be here. Oh, by the way, dang it, I forgot the date. So the second to last week of March, we will be streaming from Philadelphia, but it's only gonna be for 2 days. So I'm gonna be in Philly for 2 days, mid-March. I'm excited about it. I haven't been there in a long, long time. So stay tuned for that. We will be in Philly the second to last week of March. I shouldn't be walking in the bike lane. Horrible choice by me. James, it is very sad what's going on in Ukraine now. All my prayers are for them. Agreed 100%. Brandon Teed says, Tom, fun fact, Toronto has a smaller Flatiron building, but it has a vault in the basement which Capone used to keep his money hidden from U.S. authorities. I didn't know that at all. That's really interesting. I didn't know that at all. Thank you, Brandon Teed, for that fun fact. Hey, Wade Braxton says, woohoo, I love Philly. Yeah, lady, I was like, Tom, get on the sidewalk. Hey, Kenny says, love the Flatiron District, where downtown and midtown meet. So I'll give you guys one more look at the Flatiron building. Unfortunately, it is all covered in scaffolding. Hey, Charlie Richardson is here, says, hey, Tom, everybody. What's up, Charlie? Joe Bell, Jose Lopez Sanchez is here. Says, Tom, when you can stop in Washington, D.C. and do a video. I want to do that, but I just don't have time to go there right now. If my work ever brings me there, I will 100% do a stream from there. We'll stream outside the White House. Dolly Girl Twins says, yes, cute bar downstairs in Toronto, Flatiron building. What's going on? Fresh Start is here. Good to see you. KR says, do you get a fine when you walk in the bike lane? I guess in theory you probably should, but nobody really cares in New York. Just as long as you're not being a menace. Says, great of Ecuador. I visited the Empire State Building before 30 years. Shot by Scott says, Tom, Miami has a bigger Flatiron building. Hey, Lena Sandoval says, hey, Tom and everybody. Oh, Wade says, no, you live in Philly. Ah, very cool. Any suggestions on where I should go? NMB045 is here. Hey, NMB045. Says, hey, Tom, guess what? Max and Stacy quit the Kaiser Report on RT. Kaiser Report is no more. Well, I respect them a lot for doing that. They don't need RT. They have such a big and strong audience as it is. They could, migrate to YouTube or do whatever they want. But NMB045, good to see you. So everybody, real quick, I want to keep it short and simple tonight. Because between me and you, I kind of just want to stream and hang out, talk to you guys. But we do have to get the topic out of the way. So we briefly talked about Okta, which is a cybersecurity company, but I read a really good article, like a really, really well-written article in Barron's today. And it was about emerging markets versus the S&P 500. So if you type !markets, MARKETS in the chat, later tonight, when you're about to go to bed, I would strongly advise read this article. Because the author goes into great detail about a potential value play here, investing in Brazil, investing in India, Latin America, China. But there's something that's interesting, and we talk about this all the time on the channel, and that's, you know, a lot of these companies in emerging markets, so you could think about China is probably the biggest emerging market. All of these companies tend to trade at significant discounts to their US counterparts. And there's been a lot of talk on Wall Street why that is. I'm not sure why that is, to be honest, but my theory is that they trade at discounts for a reason. And I think the biggest reason that I see is the geopolitical risk, right? So you think about a lot of Russian equities or Russian companies were actually really, really profitable and doing quite well before Russia decided to invade Ukraine. And then the stock market dropped 50%, right? So I think due to those risks, I think that's why those stocks don't trade at the valuation levels that US companies do. Because nobody, you know, US, I believe, even though we have our corruption here, you can't compare the corruption in the United States to places like China, Russia, and the like. And I'm not trying to hate on these countries or anything. I'm not. I'm just trying to understand why the valuation metrics are so different. And there's a professor at NYU, right here at NYU, Professor Damodaran, and he essentially says the same thing. He's like, these companies are very profitable, they're in fast-growing countries, but the only sort of risk or the headwind that a lot of these countries have is they don't have the free and fair markets that the United States does. And I'll give you guys an example. Does everybody remember the publicly traded coffee company out of China, Luckin Coffee? So Luckin Coffee was a big high grower. It went public, it IPO'd, but then a lot of analysts on Wall Street were like, wait, these numbers don't add up. And it turns out that that entire company was a fraud. All of their financials were complete frauds. So a lot of people don't trust these companies' earnings reports because they don't have the same rules and regulations and reporting standards that American companies do. So if you had an investment in Luckin Coffee, you know, overnight you lost all your money. So that's sort of my spiel about it. What do you guys think? I would love to know what your thoughts on it are. DJ MTG says, Tom, correct, Brazil is trading at a 30% discount compared to 5% to the rest of the world. Yeah, and DJ, Brazil is like a very, very fast-growing economy, extremely fast-growing economy. Nice guy says, thanks for the article, Tom. Hey, Kashmir Funk is here. Good to see you. Hey, Estelle is here. Good to see you, Estelle. Yeah, so if you type ! markets, it will drop the link to the Barron's article. Ron is here, says hello, Tom. Good to see you, Ron. Yeah, somebody says, yeah, Tom, Luckin Coffee went to zero overnight after they fraudulently reported earnings. I do remember that. Transfer says, Tom, I feel like there's always an emerging market play, but I just can't pull the trigger. Hey, Gracie says, good evening, Tom. You know you have a very unique Long Island, New York speaking style. Who do you credit your awesome public speaking voice? I appreciate the kind words. I really, really do appreciate the kind words. I don't know. I really don't think that I speak too well. Maybe it's just I get a lot of practice. I am in sales, so oftentimes I'll have to give presentations, build pitch decks and things like that. But thank you for that. Cindy Foley says, get a close-up of the Empire. Hey, the Mighty Bulls here says, good evening, Tom. What's up? Joyce Carter, what's up? Oil Paint, how are you? Good to see you. Brian says, Tom, I would agree and all companies should follow the same rules. Yeah, Brian, to your point, that is, to your point, that's a big reason why a lot of people or a lot of investors will not invest in the Chinese equities, because they just don't trust the reporting standards of a lot of those Chinese companies. So like in America, yes, we have our problems. I understand that. But I mean, the regulation to report your earnings properly and in a fair way where it's transparent, that's real. And I could say that from analyzing these earnings reports, that's real. In other countries, you may not have that. And also, even if you're in an emerging market country where these companies are growing and making huge profits, how do you account for that risk where a country might go rogue, invade another country and kill a bunch of people, and the stock market drops 50% in a day? Right? How do you predict that? You can't. Hey, Crazy Otto's here. Good to see you. War Walker, you're the best, my friend. The Mighty Bull says greetings to all moderators around the world. What's up, the Mighty Bull? So Mighty Bull, we may stop by the Grand Central Terminal, perhaps take a little bit of a walk around there. Gerald says, what do you predict for Russian stocks? So to be totally honest, I have no prediction for Russian stocks. I don't want to have anything to do with it. A lot of people on the streets says there could be an extreme value play here should Russia pull their troops out of Ukraine altogether. But the way I think about it, anytime I make an investment, I like to build as much asymmetric risk profile as possible. And there's so many great American companies that are producing earnings, that are making good profits. I don't need to support and invest into a Russian company when the Russian government is killing Ukrainian people. I just don't see the risk reward ratio there. Mighty Hole, good to see you. Hey, Anna Ames, thank you for joining. We are now in Koreatown. Hey, Luke says, imagine if the United States were all of America. That would be awesome. Good to see you. Nico MBA says, Tom, is it safe in Manhattan at night? I would say, yeah. I'd say it's relatively safe. XOXX Bob is here. Good to see you. Appreciate it, XXX. Very, very kind of you to say. Hey, Marcy M says, I also think you have a wonderful speaking voice. Very commanding. Thank you, Marcy. Appreciate it. Hey, Frankie's here. Welcome, Frankie. Joyce Carter, good to see you. Anna Ames. Raul is here. Good to see you, Raul. Michael Welch says, Tom, is it true that we're being threatened by nuke war? So it is true. I think, well, then again, let me back up. I shouldn't say that. There has been reports that Vladimir Putin advised the nuclear sort of military to be on high alert. I don't know if that's a threat, but that's sort of what the reports were. I mean, I certainly hope not. I really, really certainly hope not. That would be an unmitigated disaster. Hey, Smee Media's here. Good to see you, Smee Media. Crazy Otto. Funny. Hey, Long Q Dang. Good to see you. Heather, good to see you. How are you? Mighty Mole, good to see you. It says, remember, it is the Rothschilds' world banking. Smee Media says, hello, everybody. Good to see you. Luke says, how many degrees is it in Vancouver?
Sell me another one for like 50.
You could check in the Nightbot if you type !weather and then Vancouver. It will drop the temperature in the chat for you. Hey, Daddy Boggs says, good evening from Ozone Park, Florida. I thought Ozone Park was in Queens. Fresh Start says, do you shop at H&M? Sometimes, yes. Absolutely. SME Media says, I think sometimes he has the cadence of a baseball announcer in a good way. Interesting. Thank you, SME Media. Hey, Manny Explorers is here. What's up, Manny? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you had a good Wednesday today. Manny Explorers, welcome to the chat. Emilio J says, Putin has tied his hands and backed himself into a corner. That's what worries me the most. You know, that's actually what worries me the most too. You know, there's an old saying of like, you know, you should fear the people who have nothing to lose. And it seems like everybody in the world is against Putin right now, rightfully so. But the only thing that scares me is he has nukes. And if his economy is in the tank, if he's essentially cut off from the Western world entirely, on top of he's being embarrassed on a global stage because he thought he was just going to be able to go into Ukraine and take it over with ease, but that's obviously not the case. So, you know, anything's possible, but let's hope for the best. Hey, Michael Welch says, I missed the Gap store to your right. Dolly Girls Twins says, Tom, should we worry to take cash out if we get locked off the grid? I don't know. I mean, I think that if the grid goes down, we're going to have a lot worse things to worry about. Oh, check this out. I like these police officers on the horses there. Hey, Pixelogic says, hey, Tom, a quick heads up. The Rangers are playing at home tonight. Did they win? Did they win? Hey, Manny Explorers says, I had a great Wednesday. I hope your Wednesday was good too. Thank you. It was quite busy at work, but pretty good. Pixelogics is 2. So here's an interesting statistic from the article. So they were comparing the MSCI Emerging Markets Index, the earnings growth of all the companies in that Emerging Markets Index, to the earnings growth of the S&P 500 this year. So check this out. So out of all the companies in the MSCI Emerging Market Index, their earnings are expected to grow by 10.2% in 2022. All the companies in the S&P 500, the earnings growth is supposed to be 8.9%. So if you invest into an emerging market index, you're getting a better bang for your buck, but the indices always tend to trade at a discount or a steep discount to US indices. And the interesting thing is that the MSCI Emerging Market Index has lagged behind the S&P 500 by an average of 10 percentage points over the last decade. And it now trades at just 12 times 12 months forward earnings. If you compare this with the S&P 500, the multiple on the S&P 500 is 19 times forward earnings. 19 times 12-month forward earnings. So in theory, if you buy the S&P 500, you're paying more for less earnings growth. But if you buy this emerging market index, you're paying less for more earnings growth. But that does not necessarily mean you're going to make more money. Because as the article states, emerging markets tend to underperform the S&P 500, and I think the main issue there, or the main reason, is geopolitical risk and fair and free markets. But it's interesting to think about. So take a look at that article, and maybe in the Discord, let me know what you guys think. And if you haven't joined the Discord yet, if you look in the links in the description, you could click to sign up and feel free to chat, connect, and hang out with us after the streams. All right, so I'm going to pull off to the side And I'm going to show everybody what the Empire State Building looks like from directly under it. Hey, Al Baker is here. What's up, Al? So this is directly under the Empire State Building. And actually LinkedIn has an office in here. Yeah, Lady O, isn't that a good shot? I always like getting that shot. Hey, Theresa Kong is here. How are you? Good evening. Frankie says stunning. Yeah, Lady O says gorgeous. Rubio says great shot. The Swan says, geez, Tom, it's enormous. It's one of my favorite buildings in New York, hands down. Michael Welch, you're too kind. Thank you so much for the donations. Michael Welch Jr., hope you're enjoying the stream, and thank you so much. DJ says Nordstrom up 37% today. People returning to the racks. This is DJ. Fresh Start says, Tom, what floor is the LinkedIn office? I'm not sure what the exact floor is, to be totally honest with you. But here we are at 5th Avenue now. Hey, Javier is here. Good to see you. NE says, I watched an interesting video on New York City scaffolding. What did it say, NE? Did it say the same thing that I explained, or was there a different reason why there's so much scaffolding there? Hey, Comic-Con Hunter. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Anna Ames says, I like the Blackhawks. Charlie Richards, good to see you, my friend. Hey, Tim says, hello, good evening, $112 oil. How insane is that? Yeah, insane. So I think ticker symbol CL, which is the light sweet crude oil futures, I think it's trading at right around 106 bucks. And my whole thesis on this, oh, and by the way, I sent the Behind the Street newsletter to everybody yesterday, so you should have it in your inbox. And what I sort of wrote about is, yeah, oil could go higher, but I think any move up in oil, if you have a long position, I think you should probably be taking profits into here, because that's what everybody's talking about. Oil is going to go up to $200 a barrel. You know, maybe it could go to 120. But I think the energy trade, I think this is the last wave, or like a wave 5 of the energy trade. Good to see you, Comic-Con Hunter. Hey, Man of Steel says hello, good to see you. James Davidson says, keep hitting the like button, everybody. Appreciate that. Hey, Jobel says, Tom, what is your favorite New York restaurant? So my favorite restaurant is called Becco, B-E-C-C-O. And it is owned by a famous Italian chef called Lydia. So please check that out. Phenomenal restaurant. Hey, Running at Altitude says Major League Baseball delays opening day. Hey, Carolina Tom says, good evening, Tom. Time to short the oil market. Yeah, so Carolina Tom, I think that, so I don't short anything. I think I'm horrible at timing. But that was sort of my thesis, right? So we've been long energy for a long time. And now that Russia's in war, the fear's at all-time highs, you turn on CNBC, you turn on Bloomberg, and everybody's telling you to buy oil. I actually think this is the appropriate time to maybe take some profits or exit positions entirely, because I think we're going to get a lot of liquidity here. There's going to be very, very high trading volumes. I think a lot of retail investors are going to start buying oil and bidding up the price, and that's where I think institutions are going to start to take profits and sell out. Now, I'm not saying oil can't go higher. I think it probably will, but I think the asymmetric risk is probably more neutral to down than it is positive. But good to see you, Carolina Tom. Thank you for your thoughts on that. Hey, Techno Pink is here. Good to see you, Techno Pink. From the Dominican Republic. Welcome. Andreas A says, Tom, short the oil calendar spread. Carolina Tom says, agree with what you said. Good to see you. Carolina Tom, let me know what you think about the new format of the newsletter. Pixelogic, good to see you. KJJK says, have you seen anybody filming a movie or TV show while walking in New York? I think one time on the stream we passed, I want to say it was Law and Order or Blue Bloods. I forget which television show it was, but it may have been Law and Order or Blue Bloods. Hey, 94 Sam 126 says, good evening. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Bob says, Tom, Miami-Dade County just got its third area code due to growth, 645. I saw that. So somebody DM'd me on Twitter and showed me that. Hilarious. NE says, Tom, do you watch Grant Stephan? You being on his podcast would be awesome. Yeah, so I sometimes watch Graham Stephan, sometimes, but I think he's a very smart guy. I think he's a good guy. But I don't know, I just don't like, and I get it, everybody wants to try to, I don't know, I think the thing I could say, he's a good guy, he's a smart guy, but I don't know, I think all the like the Dogecoin nonsense, the GameStop and the AMC stuff that he covers a lot, obviously it gets a lot of views and it grows his channel, but a lot of people are gonna get hurt in that stuff. So I don't know, but he's good. He's a very smart guy, real estate expert, great guy. I watched a lot of his content. A lot of his real estate videos actually helped me in the process of buying my house, in terms of, you know, building your cash flow analysis on the house. But I think the only thing, I just hate all the AMC, GameStop, and just the junk cryptocurrency nonsense. I think a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money in that. Hey, Kenny says, Tom, will we be streaming from the financial district? We may do that tomorrow. But good to see you, Kenny. Fresh Start says, Tom, can we see the World Trade Center? We will very soon. Brad's Brain says, what's your number one podcast? This is the Peter Schiff Show. Peter Schiff is a good guy. I like Peter Schiff. So here's the thing. I listen to Peter Schiff's podcast, almost every single one of his podcasts. But it's funny, I almost disagree with him on almost everything he says. I think Peter Schiff is a phenomenal economist. He's one of the very conservative, and the Fed type of guy, libertarian, which is sort of where my views align. But there's one thing about being right, and there's another thing about making money. And he's pretty much said that this market is going to go lower ever since 2008. But Peter Schiff's a great guy. I learn a ton from him. And his son is really smart too. I follow him on Twitter. He's a good follow. So if you guys are thinking about following anybody that's a very smart, good kid, an up-and-comer, follow Peter Schiff's son on Twitter. It's funny, he goes back and forth with his dad on gold and Bitcoin. It's hilarious. Also, we got a new Twitter handle for the channel. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow @Walks Wall Street. Hey, John is here. Good to see you, John. Jose, this is 39th Street and 5th Avenue. That's where I work. Where are we now? Oh, dude, we're right in front of your work now. That's awesome. Beautiful location to work, man. Beautiful location. Lady O says, Tom, the layout of your newsletter is impressive. Thank you for that. I'm trying to become a better writer. I actually enrolled into an online writing course. I want to try to become a better writer. War Walker says New York City is so many different shows in one small island. Agreed. Lupe, our great moderator from the one and only Oklahoma is here. What's up, Lupe? As we overlook the New York Public Library, the Stephen Schwartzman building. Hey, Sunshine, New York, our guardian of the stream, has arrived. Tehran Fear says, Tom, I enjoyed the Stanley Druckenmiller interview you mentioned in the Discord. Yeah, so I appreciate that compliment. So Stanley Druckenmiller is by far probably one of the greatest investors of all time. And I would really, really highly advise watching that interview. I believe the interview is about 2 years old, but it still has a ton of good content in there with Stanley Druckenmiller and Paul Tudor Jones. Those are two of the real traders and investors that I study a lot. Oh, that's a Tesla taxi. Let's check that out. I don't think I've seen this model Tesla as a taxi yet. Does anybody know what model that is? Is that a Model S? Damn, I never take taxis, but that's tempting. That is tempting. Smee Media says, jump in, take us for a ride. Do you guys know I've never been in a Tesla? Do you guys know that? I've never been in a Tesla. So it looks like the Bank of America Tower is all lit up for Ukraine. Zach Drews is sick. Oh, it's a Model 3. Tesla Model 3. Solomon Taylor says, Tom, to Tesla Model 3. So are those the... So the Model 3, is that the more affordable model, I'm assuming? Jetstar says, just buy yourself a Tesla. I wish, man. I wish. Solomon Taylor says, what is the site for your writing course? So it's a Coursera course, but it is a free version of the course that is like what's it called? A prequel to a paid course. But I think that's just one of my main goals for the year is become an incrementally better writer. But I think really the only way that I'll do that is just by writing in general. So we'll see. Hey, Minraj says, yeah, more affordable one. Good to see you, Minraj. Hey, Michelle K says, I can't wait till you're in Philly, my neck of the woods. Yeah, so Michelle, we should be in Philly second to last week of March. I'm excited about it too. Because it seems like the economy is finally getting over all this COVID stuff, thankfully. Things are opening back up. Business travel is opening. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to fly in from Miami to New York. And I think I want to take the Amtrak because I want to shoot a video in the new Amtrak lounge. But I don't think I could do that unless I have a ticket. So I think I'm just going to book a ticket on the Amtrak to go to Philly. But that's to be determined. Hey, John says the Tesla is a plug-in car, but how long is the battery? I think that Elon Musk, I was reading some of his tweets, essentially he's going to manufacture a car that has over 500 plus miles or 500 plus range on the battery life. Supposedly, he said he could potentially do a 600-mile range, but according to him, that would decrease the quality, the performance of the vehicle. Regina USA says, Tom, I love New York. Thank you, Regina. Brian Browns is back again from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Welcome, everybody from Grand Rapids. Smee Media says, maybe write as if you were having a conversation, sort of like these walks. Yeah, so Smee Media, that's exactly how I try to write the newsletter. So if you guys, I think a lot of people are already subscribed to it. We hit 600 readers on the Behind the Street newsletter, so thank you very much for that. So every week I write a financial newsletter covering not only US equity markets, but emerging markets, commodities. So if you'd like to receive that, if you type !news, NEWS in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link. And I try to write it exactly how I'm talking on these sort of video live streams, but I think there's much improvement that can be done. But check out, this is one of my favorite views. This is the new One Vanderbilt building. Yes, Solomon says, I love writing, teaches you how to think. I agree. Dateline yesterday says, Tom, I'm enjoying your channel. Hello from Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. You know, I think the Mighty Bull is in the chat. So we will take a quick walk around the inside of Grand Central Terminal to see the Mighty Bull. Hey, Shop by Scott's like, Tom, I started my career as a copywriter in 1993. Very cool. Hey, Kenny says, Tom, the One Vanderbilt skyscraper looks so beautiful. I agree. One of my favorites. Although we did run into some guy on the stream, and he was like, he came up next to us, and we were filming the top of the One Vanderbilt. And the guy comes over to me, he's like, this is horrible. It's blocking the Chrysler building. It's horrible, it's ugly. I was like, all right. Mighty Bull says, I am present. Mighty Bull, so now that you're here, since you're here, we're just gonna take a quick peek at the Mighty Bull in the inside of the Grand Central Terminal. As we are passing the PwC building, so PricewaterhouseCoopers. Michael Jr., I see you in the Discord. Very cool. If anybody else wants to join the Discord, feel free to chat with us in there. Hey, JL says, hello once again, my friend. Hope you're well. Have a good night. What's up, JL? Thank you for being a great moderator. So here's a view of the One Vanderbilt directly below it. Yeah, Sunshine New York's like, I wonder what percentage of One Vanderbilt is occupied. I'm curious about that too. So this is looking southbound on Madison Avenue. Oh, everybody, we may have to transfer over to the Twitch stream very soon because my gimbal will die. It seems like it's par for the course with me. Hey, Santo is here. Good to see you, Santo. Hey, RJ says, Rangers fans not happy now. Down 3-2. Not good. Well, check out the Chrysler building from here. Great view. Hey, James Davidson says, thanks for agreeing with me since this is very sad that this is happening now, especially with the innocent children dying along with others. It's horrible. I'm actually trying not to watch a lot of it because on Twitter, there's actually like real people that are filming like the tragedies that's going on in Ukraine. And some of the videos are really graphic and it's quite depressing. So even though I should probably be paying attention, I just can't. I just go into depression. But I know that's sort of a cop-out thing to say, but it's not ideal. So this is the main entrance of Grand Central Terminal here in New York City. Yeah, Lemonade's like exactly So this is Pershing Square. And I always think about Bill Ackman's hedge fund, Pershing Square, which actually just made a sizable investment in Netflix. Hey, 94 Sam 126 as I have to check it out of here. I thank you for the lovely sights in New York City. See you in the next live. Hey, thank you for being here, and we will see you in the next one. We will be live tomorrow. Tux Brown says, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Agreed. Agreed 100,000%. Hey, the RT440 says, Tom, the one Vanderbilt building is almost 90% occupied. That's fantastic. Yeah, I just try not to watch any of those. I just can't, man. All right, so now we are inside the terminal. Hey, Ed says, hello, Tom. Did you see they canceled Apple Pay for the Russian citizens? So I saw something like that on Twitter where I believe in the subway systems in Moscow, there were extremely long lines trying to get into the train because there was no like Apple Pay, and I believe Samsung Pay doesn't work either. Yeah, there needs to be a resolution to this, but although there was supposedly a statement from the White House earlier today that says there are reports that Vladimir Putin has no intentions of stopping. Hey, Carlos is here. Says, hey, Tom, some Carlos. Hope you're well. Hey, Brian B says, Tom Hawk. Good to see you. Talvish says, have a great night, Tom. Good to see you. So if you guys are enjoying the streams, feel free to leave a like on the video if you're enjoying it. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We go live about 5 days a week between New York City and Miami. Cosmos says, Tom, I wonder if Alipay works. I don't think they have Alipay in Russia, do they? But that is good. That is a good question. Felix signed up to the newsletter. Good, interesting read so far. Hey, thank you for that. Hey, Jetstar is here. What's up? Jeannie Bell says, thank you for the fabulous walk and interesting conversation. Good night and much love from Liverpool, the UK. Hey, thank you everybody for joining from the United Kingdom. So here we have the mighty bull on the ceiling. Let me zoom in on it. Hold on. Please stand by. Clarence Jackson, so true. Clarence is like, Tom, just make sure Carl Icahn isn't around when you mention Bill Ackman. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, the ceiling is awesome here at Grand Central. Hey, Kirk says, the clearness of your video is amazing. Thank you so much. Darth Bong says, Tom, please pray for the people of Ukraine and Palestine. Stop wars, take care of yourself, Tom, and each other. Thank you for that. I agree with you 100,000%.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Gerald says, Tom, do you think Putin cares about the economy going down? I mean, this whole thing is very perplexing. I try not to even give my opinion on it anymore because it's just so perplexing, the entire thing. Because I think the biggest mistake I made when sort of thinking about the whole Russia situation, when we were first getting reports that they may invade the Ukraine, is I was trying to think about the situation as a rational human being. And I think that is a mistake because we are clearly dealing with somebody that does not think rationally, right? So if I was the president of Russia, I'd be like, wow, if I invade Ukraine, we're probably going to face massive sanctions. The stock market is probably going to tank. Our Russian ruble is probably going to be worthless, and there's going to be rioting in the street. Yeah, so I probably won't do that. I probably won't do anything. But unfortunately, it's pretty much everything that I was expecting to happen didn't happen. So there you have that. Ruby says, get a shot of the American flag. Here we go. Beautiful. I think my favorite thing about Grand Central is all the architecture here. I'm always jealous of Grand Central because unfortunately I always have to go to Penn Station, which is absolutely horrid. But supposedly the East Side Access project is going to open rather soon.
With the return of peak fares, we would like to remind you that bicycles are not permitted on peak
Hey,
trips.
Jim is here. Says hello from Toronto, Canada. What's up, Jim? Hope you're well, my friend. Smee Media says great views, Tom. Good to see you. 48 is our pal from New Zealand. Says I love the views as well, Tom. Love that building. Yeah, War Walker's Carl Icahn was the CEO of TWA. Yeah, so that was back when he was doing all that corporate rating stuff. But then again, I believe there's some talk about Bill Ackman trying to cause some trouble at McDonald's because he believes that the pork is not being, I guess, handled correctly.
For a 952 to Southeast, making white plates for a stop and a connection to the
Tux Brown says, Tom, Ukraine doesn't have the financial muscle and the army to fight Russia. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you, but I think that's why they're getting an incredible amount of help and support and weapons from surrounding countries. I believe Germany, as well as the United States and Canada. Canada has been giving them a ton of weaponry. So I think you're right there, but I think they're relying on help from the United States and other countries. But look, I mean, they're holding up a lot longer than people expected, so look, I just hope that there can be a swift resolution to all this nonsense so no more people die. And I think the biggest tragedy out of this whole thing is just the regular, normal Russian citizens that have pretty much lost their entire livelihoods over this. Because if they had any money invested in the stock market, any cash in the bank, well, their net worth is pretty much in half. You know, think about that. That's, you know, you're a regular, hardworking Russian citizen. You mind your business. You go to work every day. You send your kids to school. You're just a normal person like you and me. And then your president goes on this tirade, and now all of your assets are worth nothing. Like, to me, that's the thing that's most upsetting to me. It's just ridiculous. Hey, Sunshine After Rain is here. Good to see you. Hey, everybody, we have super friends in the city. Fernando, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Fernando, are you working tonight or you off? Fernando, you're gonna have to come down to Miami sometime, my friend. Sam Driscoll, good to see you. Rob, good to see you. Ed, this is Tom. Do you think any billionaires made money shorting the ruble currency? I'm sure some people did, but then again, I think that was just an accident. Pixelogic says we missed out on the original Penn Station. We did. We were about 100 years too early, or too late for that. But then again, there's been a lot of, a lot of investors are banned from selling Russian assets right now. So I'm not sure. I think it's a big mess. I think if anybody was involved in any sort of Russian assets, Russian currency pairs, it's probably more of a headache than anything. Daddy Boggs is Tom. Possibly tomorrow, if you're in the area, could you go to the lobby of 59 Maiden Lane? I worked there back in the day. You know, that's very possible because we will probably be doing a stream from the New York Stock Exchange tomorrow. I spent a ton of time around Maiden Lane back in the day. Mighty Bull, good to see you. Daddy Bog. Webley Coffee Spill says Action Kid is already in Miami. He just did a stream from there today. I think he's going to love it. I bought a place in Miami about 4 months ago, and it was one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. Joseph says, what about the Ukrainian citizens who lost everything? Yeah, exactly. It's horrible all around. The whole thing is just totally, it's almost unbelievable. I can't even believe it. And maybe that's just my ignorance from living in a Western country, which I understand, but the whole thing just unraveled. It's just ridiculous. Boomer Bob, probably not. We probably won't be doing that. Hey, Bernard Friedman is here. This is the Mighty Bull. Good to see you, Bernard Friedman. Comic-Con Hunter says, I'm also watching and listening while working. Well, hopefully you're having a good day at work so far. I'll give you guys one last view of the Chrysler building, and then we'll continue all the way up to the one and only Rockefeller Center. Jetstar says, Tom, we miss you in Florida. We'll be back. We will be back again someday. We're good to see you, Boomer Bob. Karina Thompson is joining us. Fernando, Super Friends in the City. Tom AK, good to see you. Carlos, welcome. Hey, Lola says hello from Brazil. Welcome everybody from Brazil. Belinda says, according to YT in St. Petersburg, people went to the ATM to get cash this AM only to be told by military they was not have any money for them and they had to leave. That's an issue. Yeah, because I think they're probably trying to stop a bank run or run on the banks. Yeah, Ken Glass says at least it's warm, Tom. It's definitely warming up a lot, which is good. But speaking about currencies, so in the Barron's article I was referring to today, one of the main analysts that was highlighted was an analyst by the name of Todd McClone. And he actually works at William Blair, which is a big financial institution on Wall Street. And he says emerging markets have historically outperformed 90% of the time when the dollar has weakened versus other currency pairs. And so his bullish thesis is, look, when we have, hold on, let me just get back in here. He's like, look, here's my bull thesis on emerging markets. When the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates, he thinks that the dollar strength will come down and emerging markets could even have a little bit more of a boost to their earnings. But obviously for the reasons we talked about before, emerging market stocks or emerging market countries, the companies in those countries tend to trade at steep discounts to their US counterparts because of geopolitical risk and things like that. If you guys remember correctly, the very famous Luckin Coffee, do you guys remember that? Luckin Coffee, when it IPO'd, everybody couldn't stop talking about it. It was Luckin Coffee this, they're growing their revenues, they're growing their earnings. Well, one thing leads to another, and all of their financial reporting turns out to be fraudulent, which is unfortunate. And that's because a lot of the Chinese companies do not live up to the same financial reporting standards as American companies. So there's risk associated with investing in emerging markets. So I thought it was an interesting article. If you want to read that article in Barron's, you could type !markets, MARKETS, and the Nightbot will drop the link to that Barron's article. Hey, RJ says Rangers scored on the power play, 4-3 lead. Very cool. Yeah, Comic-Con Hunters, like Tom, I'm surprised how well the signal strength is in here. In the Moynihan train station, it's like we can't even walk around at all, which is unfortunate because it's beautiful in there. But Verizon does not work in the Moynihan train station at all, unfortunately. Hey, Mike S. is here. What's up, man? Good to see you. This is Tom, waiting to unload my 18-wheeler in Elmont, New York. Mike's always unloading the 18-wheeler when we're streaming. God bless you, Mike. Solomon Taylor says, is the Federal Reserve private or government? It is a private entity. Hey, Cynthia Martinez, our pal from Miami. Hey, Cynthia. Hope you're having a good Wednesday so far. Hey, Jimmy Jose is watching from Ireland. Awesome. So my great-grandfather came over through Ellis Island from Ireland, County Mayo, Ireland. And our family was in the alcohol business here. During Prohibition, we actually owned a couple speakeasy bars very close to Times Square. And a lot of the Jewish mafia would come in and be drinking right alongside with the police officers, because the police officers after work, they wanted to have fun, have a good time, and have a drink too. So nobody really cared. But yeah, during Prohibition, our family did run some speakeasies. Jip the Blood used to come in and sit down. Hey, Felix33 says, Mark Mobius, the emerging markets guru, says investing in Russia will be impossible now for the long term. Ooh, yikes. Well, Felix, I think the thing for me is, I think it turns out to be like an ethical thing, to be honest. I don't know if I want to do that. Ah, my guess, County Cork. Very cool. Melee, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hey, Trev, good to see you, my friend. Jimmy Joe says, that's awesome history, mate. Good to see you. Johnny and the Bulldogs, I appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, so Jared, yeah, Jared's like, if you want to invest in emerging markets without the risk, just invest in the BTC. Interesting. Hey, Razzle Dazzle 786 says, Tom, maybe one day we could walk to the Irish Memorial in Manhattan. I'm not even sure where that is. I probably should know where that is. But good to see you, Razzle Dazzle. Can't wait until you arrive to New York. I'm sure you're gonna love it. Razzle Dazzle is moving here from Cali. And East is kind of in relation to Russia. People always forget how bad the economy got in Germany after the war. Yeah, that's what caused hyperinflation in Weimar Germany. They tried to print their way. And when you have money printing, it is not good. But although, I mean, the Russian, I think Russian interest rates are what, 20%? Hey, Pam is here. Says, I'm going to visit tomorrow. Awesome, Pam. Have a great time. Cynthia Beal says, Vesey Street by the river. John says, Tom, are you going to do more live streams when the weather gets better? We will. We will. James Davidson, thank you for joining, my friend, as always. Hey, Mobility Mark is here. What's up, Mobility Mark? Germaninos is watching from Venezuela. Welcome, everybody from Venezuela. Love Venezuela.
What's up, Heavy?
Welcome, everybody. So right now we are going to walk back to Radio City Music Hall, Rockefeller Center. We haven't been there in a while on the stream. Right now we're on the corner of East 43rd Street and Madison Avenue. So we will be arriving at our destination in about 15 minutes. Hey, Anushu. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize for that. Anusua. Says, I am a regular with your videos. Well, I appreciate it very much. I hope you're enjoying them. And I hope your week is going fantastic so far. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, Cindy Foley. Thank you for being here as well. So if we make a right, there's the new JP Morgan Chase building that is being built. So Jamie Dimon and his crew. Wow, check out how the New York City streets look under the streets. So this is what the underside of Madison Avenue looks like. And I think this is a new coffee shop. This used to be the Brooks Brothers, but Brooks Brothers did go out of business. So this is like a new coffee shop here. Looks awesome. I may go in here tomorrow, actually. Yeah, Jerry Kobe says it looks old. Yeah, all of the infrastructure in New York is pretty old. So, Stumptown Coffee Roasters here. But this place looks phenomenal. What do you guys think about the inside of this place? This used to be the Brooks Brothers, but it is now turned into a cafe. Hey, Mac Jack says, thanks so much, Tom, and thanks for the pizza review on YouTube. So funny. No problem. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, so you can see they sort of sectioned it off. This all used to be a Brooks Brothers location here. This is a pretty good shot. This is the One Vanderbilt building with the American flag in the background. Awesome. Hey, Carter says, hey, Tom, watching your streams with my parents, and we love being transported to New York City, and your commentary is very calming. Thanks for doing what you do. Hey, Carter, thank you for watching. And I wish you and your family a wonderful week. And today's actually a pretty good stream because it's not freezing. Today was a beautiful day in the city. It was bright sun out. Unfortunately, I was working all day, but I did get a chance to walk around Washington Square Park during my lunch break, which was good. Hey, the one and only Sunshine New York says, good night, guys. I'm out. Be well. Don't forget to hit the like button. Appreciate it, Sunshine. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for being a moderator. And we will see you very soon. So a couple more blocks up, we're actually going to walk directly behind St. Patrick's Cathedral. And to the right, this is the brand new, well, in construction, it is going to be the brand new JP Morgan Chase building. Hey, Michelle O'Rourke is here. What's up, Michelle? Funky Monkey. This is Tom. Do you have a favorite, let me see, Peruvian restaurant? Middle Eastern Peruvian. That's a good question. I don't think I know many, to be honest. So check this out right here. This building is one of the most famous buildings on Billionaires Row. It is called 432 Park Avenue, but many of the tenants inside this building are suing the developers in a massive civil lawsuit because there's so many things wrong with that building. Supposedly, the elevators stop working. It's extremely, extremely loud in there. And if you're paying $100 million for an apartment, you probably shouldn't be dealing with those things. Hey, somebody says, Anne, says my daughter works for JP Morgan Chase. Awesome. Great company. Yeah, Johnny and the Bulldogs says they cut way too many corners. Clarence Jackson says, Tom, I work at JP Morgan Chase. Are you gonna work in this building? Beautiful new building. I wonder when it's gonna be complete. Splash Autumn says, are you live? Can I say hi? Good to see you, Splash Autumn. Hello to you. Joey, what's up, my friend? John, how are you, my friend? Hey, Estelle from Australia, thank you for joining. I appreciate it, Estelle. We'll see you in the next one. The Swan, good to see you. Hey, Trev Lyon, this is great walk, Tom. Appreciate it, Trev. So here's another shot of 432 Park Avenue. Hey, the Investigator. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. The Investigator says, look at you, walks on Wall Street. Thank you for joining the Investigator. I appreciate it. So I think we covered a lot on the stream tonight. You know, we briefly followed up on our conversation of the secular tailwinds of cybersecurity. A major cybersecurity company in the specific form of cybersecurity called identity and access management reported earnings after the bell today. That is Okta, ticker symbol OKTA. But there's also another company that is a direct competitor to Okta in the IAM cybersecurity space, or identity and access management, called Ping Identity, P-I-N-G Identity, and they were actually taken public by Vista Equity Partners, which we've covered on a previous stream. And then we talked about the emerging markets. We talked about emerging markets. What are the risks associated with investing in emerging markets? Wow, look at this. So this building is totally out of business. I don't even know it was here. This is totally empty here. Hey, Jesse says 432 Park Avenue penthouse is worth $169 million. Crazy. And it has so many problems, that building. The Investigator, thank you. Hey, XOXX Bob says, Tom, you are now at 12,700 subscribers. Wow. Well, thank you everybody for subscribing to the channel. That's insane. Really do appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for coming along on the walks with me. So please appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe to the channel. and leave a like on the video if you're enjoying, because now we are coming on the backside of Twitch stream. So we are now officially in Twitch stream mode. So we are now officially on 50th Street, which is St. Patrick's Cathedral. And this is the Eden Fine Art Gallery, where we tend to stream from when we were in Miami. There's also another one down in Soho, Eden Fine Art. Shot by Scott, thanks for joining. Yeah, so the gimbal ran out of battery, so we will continue the stream without it. I'll give you guys one more view of 432. Sunshine after rain. This is Twitch mode. So we're approaching Radio City Music Hall. Well, we are outside St. Patrick's Cathedral. It's actually Ash Wednesday today. So happy Ash Wednesday for all of the Catholics out there who celebrate Ash Wednesday. Hey Clarence, you said you went to St. Patrick's Cathedral today for Ash Wednesday. Very cool. Hey, Cynthia Martinez says, Tom, WeWorks Miami had a special night. Go someday. We will. So my office may be in that WeWork office. JL says no meat either. Lady O says I got my ashes today. Very cool, as did I. The investigator says walks from Wall Street, top 2 places to visit when in New York City. Number 1 would be anywhere in the Upper West Side. I think a lot of tourists do not go to the Upper West Side, and I think they should. Beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. I would go to Riverside Park. I think Riverside Park is fantastic. And then, where else would I go? I guess I would go to Wall Street. Financial District. Man, it is windy here now. Okay, hold on everybody. Hey, 004 says hello from Somalia. Good to see you. Hey, Patrick, New York is here. What's up, Patrick? Good to see you, my friend. Long time no see. Cosmos says Koreatown. Yeah, Koreatown I'd go as well. Koreatown's phenomenal. Okay, bear with me everybody, I gotta take the gimbal off. Hey, Shot by Scott, have a good one. Good to see you, my friend. Patrick says nice to see you too, Tom. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Junis says, are you using a GoPro? No, we are streaming with an iPhone 11. Hey, Pixelogic says Rangers win 5-3. You'll have some happy commuters with you at Penn. Oh yeah, it's gonna be wild. 100% it's gonna be bonkers. So here we are at 30 Rock, Rockefeller Center. Funky Monkey says, Tom, do you have a favorite city outside of New York? I do. That is Miami, Florida. Big fan of Miami, Florida. Love it there. John says, great to see everybody in the city. See, those were tourists. They said, I've never been to Rockefeller Center. It's good to see tourists coming back. It's good news all around. Yeah, Ruby Falcone, we may see the Fearless Girl tomorrow down on Wall Street. So the Fearless Girl actually used to be on Broadway directly in front of the Mighty Bowl, but the only issue was it was attracting so many people that Broadway was totally closed down. And I think actually somebody got hit by a car. So they relocated the Fearless Girl to right outside the New York Stock Exchange, where there's no cars allowed. So that is good. So we'll check that out tomorrow, hopefully, if I can get down there. But right. Ooh, I hear Frank. Demonetized and copyrighted, but I think it is worth it. Hey, Chad Tucker says, my wife and I are in Manhattan a couple weeks back. When you were in Miami, we love New York City with a passion. So do I. Well, thank you for being here. I hope you had a great time. I can't believe they still have the skating rink outside. That's awesome. I thought they were going to take this down a long time ago. Hey, Lori says, Tom, I got my first newsletter but haven't gotten one since. So Lori E, we've been having a big problem with the spam folder. For some reason, a lot of my newsletters have been going to people's spam folders. So if you can check your spam folder for the Behind the Street newsletter, also, we may be migrating to another newsletter platform because a lot of the emails are also, for some reason, like half the people. So we have a really high open rate on the newsletter. There's about 600 people signed up to receive the Behind the Street newsletter that I write so far, which is fantastic and I appreciate. We have about a 70% open rate, but I suspect that the rest of the people who are not opening it are it's probably going to their spam folder. For some reason. So we may migrate over to Substack, which is a different email platform. But if you still haven't received it, feel free to send me an email and I will send it to you, I promise. Wow, JL says, Tom, SiriusXM has a radio station called Sirius Sinatra. That's awesome. Love that. Hey, Carter says, you've been to the hotel? I have not been to that hotel, Carter, unfortunately. Yes, old blue eyes. Hey, Patrick New York says, I received your newsletter. Awesome, Patrick. Thank you. Appreciate it. You're the best, Patrick. So they still have all the Christmas stuff up, which is surprising. Or the winter stuff. Hey, John, thank you so much. The ice skating rink closes March 6th. Cosmos says, Tom, how was your day today? My day was really good, but it was very busy, to say the least. I think we got to go out the other way. we're locked in this way. And the wind is just starting to pick up. Hopefully it's not going to get cold again. Yeah, Jetstar says Frank in the Rat Pack. So in the Discord, if you guys go to the music tab, I actually did send a YouTube video with one of my favorite Dean Martin Rat Pack videos. This is the FAO Schwartz store. It's gonna rain. Not good. Hey, Pacific Desert Raid is here. Says, hey Tom, how's it going? Things are going pretty well. We're just hanging out tonight on the stream, so thank you for joining. Sir Pank says there is some kind of military censorship and the country turns into a totalitarian one. That's not good. So this is the NBC Studios Rainbow Room. So right in here is actually where they shoot Saturday Night Live. If you go straight into here, it seems like there's somebody important here tonight because there is a lot of, how do you call it? A lot of very nice cars here. So we'll see. Tom AK is here. Good to see you. Hey, Stephanie H says, hey Tom, first time watching. Loving the stream, made a Discord to be more connected. Love seeing the city and discussion. Hey, Stephanie H, thank you for being here. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. We do live stream around New York City and Miami about 5 days per week. So thank you for subscribing to the channel, and hopefully we see you on more streams in the future. Thanks for joining. Pacific Desert Raids has just joined the Discord. Awesome. And also, if you guys want to connect on Twitter, we do have a new Twitter handle now. It is at Walks Wall Street on Twitter. And this is the Magnolia Bakery, one of many. There's also another Magnolia Bakery right in the Moynihan train station as well. But right across the street is my favorite halal food. And Fernando is still in the chat. I believe this is Fernando's favorite spot too, which is Adele's Famous. Stephanie H says, appreciate the warm welcome. No problem. So we are headed northbound on 6th Avenue. I actually used to work not too far away from here on 45th Street. Fernando is here. Fernando, this place is my favorite halal, guys, right here. It's better than the one near the Hilton Hotel. I can even smell it from over here. It's phenomenal. Samantha, good to see you. Fernando, that's awesome, man. Yeah, Fernando, there's no line. So anyway, but Fernando, even though there's no line here, this little line will probably take you an hour. But this place is usually backed up all the way down the block. Lori East is to confirm my email to my spam folder. That must be the issue. Yeah, I mean, so I'm using the Review, which is a new company that was just acquired by Twitter. I probably should be using Substack to send out the newsletters. But I wanted to sort of try this platform out, so we may switch platforms, undecided. Mike S is Dirty Water Dogs. I'm not a big fan, but I definitely do respect it. So this is Radio City Music Hall. And I think the only time I've ever been in here is, oh, I'm getting a text. Oh, that's my brother. my brother's staying at my place in Miami, and he's like, dude, you have a cat? It's been meowing at your front door since we got here. I'm like, yeah, that's Skates. He tends to come and go as he pleases. Yeah, there's one thing about Miami. There's thousands of cats, and I know I probably shouldn't be feeding them and giving them water and stuff because that means they come back, but I can't help myself. So my house has been deemed the cat house. I have thousands of cats. So I'm like, geez. But I feel bad. I can't not feed these things. They're... Like, I can't just not feed it. If a cat walks up to my door, like, what am I just not gonna feed it? It's sick. So here we are, Radio City. Hey, Andy's here. Good to see you, Andy. Andy is joining us from South Korea. Welcome. Stephanie H is like, Tom, you're going to be the crazy cat man, and cats always bring the friends. So, yeah, just to clarify, these are not my cats. They're from the neighborhood, but... So sometimes, you know, I usually work remote, so I really don't have to go into the office. So I'll be on like a conference call and I'll hear like meowing and, you know, clawing at my front door. And I open the door and there's like 6 cats there. And I'm like, all right. So I bought some cat food and some water bowls and stuff like that. You know, it's not like I'm just going to ignore these guys. I can't do that. Yeah, so my brother's like, yo, he's like, what? You didn't tell me about this. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I have 20 cats. Forgot. NMB045 says, we have lots of rabbits and squirrels in Quebec. Ah, so there's a ton of squirrels here too. You know, I think I have a video on my IG in Central Park. You know, one of my friends that I went to college with, you know, he's not from New York. He's in like the deep, deep country in Arizona. So he knows all about animals and all this crazy stuff. So he's like, if you move your arm like this, he's like, if you go like this, the squirrels will come to you. No way. So I tried it, and the squirrels do run up to you if you do that. So ever since that, I've always been going to Central Park and feeding the squirrels, because if you do that, they'll run right up to you and crawl on your arm and everything. It's wild. Does anybody know that? It's true. It's not a lie. It's true. So this is Del Frisco's great steakhouse. I used to take my clients here. Big Easy says, Tom, wish you would try another way. Still have not received your newsletter, tried many times. Big Easy, that's so strange. Can you please check your spam folder? Or if not, if you send me an email to walkswallstreet@gmail.com, I will try to add you manually, but it seems like half the people it goes to the spam folder. So just send me an email, or if you check your spam folder, and I will try to address it and take care of it. Hey, Cynthia Beal says, you made me laugh with the cats. Appreciate it, Cynthia. Yeah, I mean, I'm a very easygoing person, so I couldn't give 2 rips if there's 70 cats all around my house. It's like, whatever, doesn't matter. Gummy Bear says, Tom, have you ever taken a picture with the Times Square guys in the costumes? I have not. Clarence Jackson says, you're approaching Fox News. We are. So this is the News Corporation building, to Clarence's point. We actually refer to a Barron's article today on the stream. News Corporation owns Barron's, as well as Investors Business Daily. And I believe News Corporation acquired IBD for about $250 million, which is a great financial news company started by William J. O'Neill. And William J. O'Neill is well known for being one of the best position size traders of all time. Clarence says, I did not see the Christmas tree was burned down. Yeah, so it was kind of bizarre. So right here was where the Christmas tree was, but I think some crazy guy came up and set fire to the tree. I don't know why he did it. Maybe he was just crazy, but yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, John says, I would not give my money to the characters in Times Square. Very seldom do I ever go to Times Square. Anne says, there's so much variation in your topics. I appreciate it. Yeah, it seems as if the stream took a turn for cat talk, which is all right. We could talk about cats every once in a while. I'm down. Well, this is my old office building, right here in the old Marsh and McLennan building. Also, we had D.E. Shaw, which is a very famous quantitative hedge fund. It's one of the most successful hedge funds in the world. D.E. Shaw runs a very, very successful and profitable quant strategy. They were in our building as well. Hey, Tommy C is here. Says, hey, what's up, Tom? What's up, Tommy? Good to see you. Alex says, I didn't know News Corp still exists. Yeah, it's right there. We just passed it. So News Corporation is like the umbrella, but they control the Wall Street Journal, Investors Business Daily, and Barron's. Mike S. says, Tom, is the Russian Tea Room still there in New York? It is. I believe it's on 57th Street, right outside of 157. Hey, Desi Guy says, good evening, folks. Good evening, Desi Guy. Hope you're well. Does anybody have a quick time check in the chat? I just want to make sure I'm on time to getting my train. $10:36, okay, right on time. Pretty good. 10:35 says the Mighty Bull. I gotta make a move, look around these guys. So we're coming up on the Bank of America Tower. We're about to see an amazing, amazing view of the Empire State Building as well. From 42nd Street and 6th Avenue. Well, cats are very popular in New York too, especially at the bodegas. Everybody has a deli cat. This is one Vanderbilt. Yes, Stephanie H. So I am in enterprise tech sales. And yeah, we've been essentially remote the entire time. But I mainly, well, back in my previous company, my specialization was in selling into healthcare. So earlier on the stream, we talked about remote patient monitoring, EVV software, things like that. So I think the two biggest secular trends for the next 10 years, not only as an investing thesis, but potentially employment opportunities as well, is number one, cybersecurity. And I believe home healthcare is going to be an extremely, extremely growing industry in the United States. Right now, home health care aides, or HHAs, are the fastest growing job in America. Hey, Dean says, I'm going to be in New York in 2 weeks. Be my third time. Any recommendations for a rooftop bar? So I don't, but other people in the chat may. I just don't drink too often, so I don't know too many rooftop bars. But if you want to go to a really, really nice bar, go to the one inside Grand Central Terminal. It's called the Campbell Bar, or the Campbell Apartments. That thing is crazy. Stephanie H says, B2B sales has been insane trying to do it remotely. To me, it's imperative to get back in person. Agreed. So Stephanie H, in last week's, I'm not sure if you received last week's edition of the Behind the Street newsletter, I actually wrote a piece, an opinion piece on the future of remote work. And I did it with the help of everybody on this channel. So we ran a YouTube poll about if your employer is going to mandate you go back to the office, will you be looking for another job? So if you want to read that, I think you would enjoy it. It's the first link in this description to the Behind the Street newsletter. You could sign up. But yeah, it was an interesting topic because a lot of people in the chat and on the channel actually helped write the piece by taking place in the survey. So I appreciate everybody for that. But this is one of my favorite buildings, not only the Empire State Building, but to the right is Salesforce Tower. Salesforce actually just reported a great quarter. The CEO is Mark Benioff. Ticker symbol is CRM. And Salesforce specializes in selling customer relationship management software. So to anybody in sales, you pretty much know what Salesforce is. I think everybody pretty much uses some sort of CRM. But most notably, they recently finished their acquisition or closed their acquisition of Slack, which was another publicly traded company under the ticker symbol WORK. Hey, Sarah G says, hello, Tom. Good to see you, Sarah. Welcome. Hey, Dogman says, just jogging in. I'm sure you have discussed the snow earnings. My goodness, the drop. So we didn't talk about Snowflake's earnings today. We did talk about Okta, but Snowflake reported a pretty bad quarter. But if you remember correctly, a few months ago on the stream, I said, look, Snowflake is a good company, but the valuation is insane. And that was one of the most hyped IPOs. And now it's trading well below its IPO price, I believe. So usually I don't get involved with companies that are not profitable. But this is where they dropped the ball on New Year's, right here. Clarence Jackson says he got hammered 30%. This is One Vanderbilt right outside of the Bryant Park. Hey, F&P Business Center Incorporated. It says, Tom, I sent an email to you and it was returned by mail delivery subsystem. Something is wrong with your delivery of your newsletter. Interesting. Let me check that out. Yeah, if you want to be, maybe I could manually add you to the list. Perhaps. But in the link in the description is my email. If you want to shoot me an email, walkswallstreet@gmail.com. I will try to make sure I rectify it. Hey, Carol says my grandson will be working at Price Waterhouse in September. Very cool. We just passed that building. Who work for EY. So we have a lot of diversity on the channel. Very cool. So we are overlooking the south side of Bryant Park and the Stephen Schwarzman building, which is the New York Public Library. Stephen Schwarzman made the vast majority of his money in LBOs, or leverage buyout deals, on Wall Street. Matt G says, do you have faith in the honesty of the stock market, or do you think it is manipulated? So Matt, I think that's probably the best question of the night, one of them, because the topic for tonight's stream was we were talking about emerging markets and why a lot of companies in emerging markets tend to trade at steep discounts to their American counterparts. And I think the biggest reason they always tend to trade at a discount is because America, or US capital markets, tend to be the most transparent in terms of rules, regulations. You know, I always like to use this example. You know, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, contrary to what a lot of people think, I think they do a pretty good job. You know, in terms of companies' earnings reports, they have to be completely transparent. If you think about Chinese equities, it's the exact opposite. So if anybody remembers the Chinese coffee company, Luckin Coffee, everybody thought it was the next best thing. Everybody thought it was amazing. It's growing revenues. It's compounding out its earnings. It has amazing profit margins. Well, it turned out the whole company was fraudulently reporting its earnings, and the stock quite literally went to zero. And I think it was delisted. So I think if you're comparing equity markets from around the world, I think you're going to have the lowest risk in the United States. And I think that's why US capital markets tend to demand a premium. But if you want to read an interesting article on that, if you type !markets, MARKETS, in the chat, it will drop the link to the Barron's article. Clarence says, Tom, I like BlackRock Mortgage Trust stocks, or REITs. Samantha says, Walks from Wall Street, do you have any book recommendations for the week? So my favorite books, if you're just starting out, I would probably read all of the Peter Lynch books. So like One Up on Wall Street is a great book. If you want to read a really, really in-depth book on valuation, which tends to be more of a rare book, it's called The Margin of Safety by Seth Klarman. So Margin of Safety by Seth Klarman is a great book, but you're probably going to have to get it via PDF on the internet, because I believe there was only about 2,000 books ever printed of Seth Klarman's Margin of Safety. But that is for deep value investing, like value investing. If you're interested in growth stock investing, I would read How to Make Money in Stocks by William J. O'Neill, which is actually the founder of Investors Business Daily, or IBD. That's another phenomenal book. Or you could read Jack Bogle's book, which is The Little Book of Common Sense Investing, which is mainly about indexing in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. And I actually think I have the free audiobook for anybody who wants to read it. If you type !Bogle in the chat, I have programmed the Nightbot like to drop the link to the free audiobook so you could listen to it at any time. Hey Joyce, good to see you. Matt G, I don't think Citadel has a conflict of interest if you're referring to payment for order flow. I think quantitative trading and algorithmic trading, high frequency trading has actually made markets more liquid and more efficient. Yeah, so Dogman says, Tom, are you familiar with reminiscences of a stock operator? So I am, and I actually have an interesting story about that. So I have one of the original copies ever printed of that book. I think it's almost worth over $2,000. But I found it at East Village Books, and some guy was trying to sell a bunch of used books that he got from an estate sale on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of the original prints of reminiscences of a stock operator. And so I bought the book, and I only bought it for like $5. But everybody, we will end the stream right here at Macy's. So I do appreciate everybody who's been joining the stream. Thank you everybody who's been subscribing to the channel. If you enjoyed the stream tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video. And we will see you right back here tomorrow, where hopefully we will be in Lower Manhattan. Maybe we will walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. So Jonathan France, Matt G, Patrick New York, John, Andy, Sunshine After Rain, and everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Once again, if you want to connect with us on Discord, feel free to click the link in the description. Join our Discord where we can chat, network about getting careers in investment banking, in tech, software engineering, and much, much more. If you haven't already, check out the Behind the Street newsletter. We already have 600 people subscribed. Insane. So thank you guys for reading my work. I appreciate it. And if you want to connect on Twitter, you can follow us at Walks Wall Street on Twitter. So super friends in the city, Fernando, Cynthia Beal. I appreciate it, Cynthia. Everybody have a great Thursday. Already almost the end of the week. So please finish strong the end of the week. Hope everybody has a good day at work tomorrow. Charlie Richardson, Michael, appreciated. Fernando, War Walker, Arsenal fan, Christopher Finch, Lemonade, Ren, Cynthia Beal, Jonathan France, Mohammed, Ren 10, Christopher, Loway Oak, the Swan, the one and only Patrick New York, and have a good night to the Mighty Bull. Wherever you are, because there's always a bull market somewhere. And you just need to know where to look. And I'll see everybody right back here tomorrow.